Welcome back. This is Sean's Take. I am Sean Redmond. And what did this episode do that made me almost stop watching it? Not only just this episode, but the entire series. Stick around, I'll tell you. So this is Extrapolations, episode 3, entitled The Fifth Question. It takes place in the year 2047. So the first episode of Extrapolations was 2037. And then we jumped to 2046, and now we're in 2047. And it's only the third episode of this series, but one of the things that we've learned is that this is not a series about the evils of climate change. It's actually about the evils of human beings during climate change. There's a big difference there. And it's a very unique approach to this show. So in this show, the fifth question is a reference to Passover, when the 4 questions are asked. And we do see this happening at the Goldblatt household over Passover. And the questions are traditionally asked by the youngest member at the dinner. And I have them here. The first question, or I don't know that there's an order to them. The order I have them here is, why is it that on all other nights during the year, we eat either bread or matzah, but on this night, we eat only matzah? And then there's a discussion. Second question, why is it that on all other nights we eat all kinds of herbs, but on this night we eat only bitter herbs? Third question, why is it that on all other nights we do not dip our herbs even once, but on this night we dip them twice? And the fourth question, which is the one we hear in this episode, or at least the end of it being asked, why is it that on all other nights we eat sitting or reclining, but on this night we eat in a reclining position? And as I reveal the fifth question, I do want to say, take a moment, this is your spoiler warning. If you have not seen episode 3 of the Apple TV Plus TV show Extrapolations, go watch it now and come on back. From here on out, I'll assume you've either seen it or don't care about spoilers. So, the title of the episode is The Fifth Question. We have the 4 questions for the Passover meal. And the 5th question that Alana presents, Alana Goldblatt is the 13-year-old daughter of David Schwimmer's character, Harris, I think his name is. Can't believe I lost that one, but I'd go with Harris. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And the youngest child at the Passover meal poses the questions. And then there's discussion. So the 5th question on this particular one, which is an additional question, was, why is God doing this? To which the adults, David Schwimmer's character, his new wife, Gabriella, his mother, or his father and mother, his father played by Judd Hirsch, everybody says, doing what, honey? As if, the entire planet doesn't look like the wrath of God. And the girl's just asking the question, and she keeps asking it through the entire episode, and everybody's answer is the same. They all wonder what she means. What are you talking about? Is God punishing us for what? Is it? And it's not lost on me that she was given the portion of the Torah on Sodom and Gomorrah for her bat mitzvah, right? And so that's got her thinking about wrath of God, God starting over, And she keeps asking the question, and nobody, including the rabbi, has an answer for her. they all think she's, for what? Why would God be mad at us? What do you mean? So that's interesting. She's an angry, inquisitive little girl. I thought the actress did a pretty good job playing it. It's a hard character to play because it's sort of this preteen angst thing that she had to do. But she did pretty well. We do find out that David Schwimmer's character left Alana's mother and now is married to Gabriella, whom Alana doesn't appreciate. Alana feels that they changed their temple because of her dad's reputation. She doesn't treat her father with any respect at all. And I thought it was a good moment when when Rabbi Marshall Zucker, who we saw in the first episode, becoming a rabbi, is now in Israel, has left Israel and is now in Miami as the rabbi at Temple Israel, which is a real place. It's a real temple. Temple Israel does exist about a block off of Biscayne Boulevard. Trivia. When Rabbi Zucker first meets Alana, she says, "Does God really care?" And Rabbi Zucker says, "I care." And it catches her attention. And she truly has a moment right there because she believes him, because he means it. And that was a nice connection between the two of them, which brings her back to him to ask him questions, to seek knowledge and answers, which is what the men of the cloth are there for, in this case, a rabbi. We do hear a warning through the ever-present Siri-like assistant that the mosquito season is starting and you have to be careful. Mosquito season is going to be very dangerous, and that matters as we go forward. So just to keep things tidy, I guess, I looked it up, and Passover in 2047, which is when this episode starts, will run from sundown on April 10th until sundown on April 18th. So, that second week of April, second to third week of April, is when Passover is going to be. Right? Miami's already flooding. And later in the episode, when we're at Alana's bat mitzvah, we hear how many storms there have been through the season. But let's put a pin in that, and we'll come back to that. When Alana gets angry at dinner and runs upstairs, she asks the assistant, I'm not saying it because I've lost track of what the name of it is, but she asks some questions, and what we see is that the population of Miami is 803,000 people. The population of Miami. The current population right now in 2023 is 6,265,000. And by 2047, that'll be down to 803,000. So there aren't a whole lot of people left in Miami. And they're all trying to get to higher ground. And they're all trying to have their buildings saved, which is really, I didn't stop to think about it until I had hit record to begin recording this video. Rabbi Zucker ends up having Alana's father bribe public officials to save Temple Israel But nobody ever said how they were going to do that. Like, the water's coming. How do you stop water? By the way, if nobody knows, if you don't know, Miami is below sea level. So it's almost a miracle that Miami exists at all. So the fact that it's one of the first cities we see in this series being consumed by the oceans, that's accurate. That's the way it's going to happen. We do see that Judd Hirsch's character, the grandfather, Goldblatt, ends up with a mosquito bite. He calls it a sebaceous cyst. He gets them all the time. Turns out it's a mosquito bite, and he dies from it. They never say what disease it is that the mosquitoes are carrying that make them so dangerous, but we did hear a warning that the mosquitoes are dangerous, and now we know that they really are. I don't know if that'll come into play further down the road in this series. But yeah, there's that. Okay, first I'm going to tell you about why the bit of this show that I absolutely hated, how the writers, if they were earning their money, could have fixed it like that. And then I'll tell you my favorite moment. Okay, I absolutely hated the Singing in the Rain number. Not because it existed, and not because Daveed Diggs isn't a good performer. It just made no sense. It absolutely made no sense. The writers didn't bother to get into it or out of it in any way. And you say, well, Sean, do you have a better answer? And yeah, I do. I do. Here's how hard that is. The writers spend 5 more minutes in the writer's room. You have Alana come to ask the question, what should I do? Day to day, what should I do? And the rabbi sitting at a piano in his office or in the rec center in the temple, somewhere in the building, says, dun, 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 I'm singing in the rain. And he starts playing it on the piano, and he starts singing it, and then the two of them do the dance number, because she was in the dance number, even though she wasn't even in the sanctuary when he was sitting there before he did the song and dance. So you have a reason for her to be there in the number with him, and you have them do their thing, and then you come back and they're sitting on the piano bench, and there's a moment. Flash forward to the end of the episode, when she steps behind the line to help him serve, and he starts dun, 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 humming the song again, she starts humming it with him. But she wasn't there. It really made me angry. It really does make me angry when these writers that are on strike for more money are this lazy in a show that's, for other reasons, very good. So they should have done that better. It really made me angry enough that I almost turned it off. Oh, we have Daveed Diggs. We have to do a song and dance number, and we don't have to justify anything about it. Well, you know what? You have Daveed Diggs, and he's doing a really good job as Marshall Zucker. Just let him be that. And if you want to do a song and dance number, at least take a minute to think about it. Anyway, Daveed Diggs also has the best moment in this episode, and I think in the series so far. The FBI shows up to arrest Harris Goldblatt, David Schwimmer's character, and he's mourning the passing of his father, and the rabbi steps forward and says, "What's going on here? I'm the rabbi." And you can see on Daveed Diggs' face that as he's saying the line, he realizes how ridiculous it is that he's saying, "Tell me what's going on, not the rabbi." But he gets an answer anyway. But it's really a cute moment of reflection that he has as he's speaking and realizing what he's saying. It's sort of like somebody stepping forward and going, "Can I help? I'm a doctor." He's like, let me in. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. But it was really good. Really good. I did like the voiceover at the end as Rabbi Zucker and his new friend are saving the Torah out of the sanctuary. And they go outside and the car is destroyed. And they end up having to retreat from the floodwaters, and they go upstairs and they go to the roof, and then they're rescued by a helicopter. And over top of it, we have the voiceover of W. Diggs telling the story of how the rabbi said no to the car, said no to the canoe, said no to the yacht, said no to the helicopter, and drowned. And when he got to heaven, he asked God, I believed you would save me. Why didn't you save me? And God said, I sent a car, canoe, yacht, helicopter. What else did you want? So we get to the point where Alana finds the rabbi, and the rabbi is serving people in a food line in a shelter. So Alana asks, I forget the exact phrasing, but she asked the rabbi another question along the lines of, why doesn't God help us? Why is God allowing this to happen? And after the standard answer of, Moses asked God the same thing, and God's answer was, I would tell you, but you wouldn't understand because you're human and I'm God. And Alana is deflated from that answer, and the rabbi says, but I think there's a better answer. And she listens, and he says, because it's up to us. That is the point. It is. It's up to us. I like this episode except for the dance number. I actually like the dance number. I just didn't like the way we got into and out of the dance number. So, let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments. If you like this show and my coverage of it, give it a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe if you've liked a couple of these. And I'm going to continue with Extrapolations along with some other series. If there's a series you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. All right. So, but for now, I'm Sean. This is Sean's Take. The more you know. See you next time.